When I was 19, I spent months wanting to start a business. I knew I wanted to do it, but there was this one thing that held me back. I didn't think I had something that people were willing to pay for. I had some IT skills. I'd been working out for a few years and I was working as a customer service agent, but none of those felt like they were actually valuable and that anyone would ever want to pay me for any of that. So today I'm going back to that old version of me. I'm sitting down with AI with nothing prepared, no scripts, no prompts. I promise this is really the first time I'm seeing what you're seeing. And the whole purpose is, if I was that 19-year-old, then how would I go from I have no idea what business to start to I know what to sell and who to sell it to? That's the purpose of this video. And what's going to surprise you most of all is how fast this actually goes when you stop trying to make it perfect. Before we start, if you like what you're seeing, you're in that state and you want the weather to be good tomorrow, then subscribe. Helps me, helps the channel, the algorithm know that you like this video and you want to see more videos like it. Do it now. It takes 2 seconds. Now, before I start typing, I want to tell you something that would have saved me years. Your first business idea doesn't actually have to be that good. Actually, it almost certainly won't be, and that's fine. Everyone out there is telling you to follow your passion or to pick the perfect niche, which is probably the entire reason for why you're watching this video and you haven't started yet. You're trying to make a decision without anywhere near the information that it takes to make that decision. Can you see how messed up that is? It's like giving you a gun, putting blindfolds on, and then someone telling you to aim at a target and expect you to hit on the first try. That's what you're doing to yourself. Of course it's not going to be perfect. Instead, what you need is a first draft. Something reasonable based on who you are, your background, the skills you might have, who you know, the channel that you suspect might be worth using to get your clients. But then the important thing is you go test it. So what I'm gonna be doing right now is I'm not gonna be building the perfect idea, but I'm gonna be building the first draft, all right? So ignore all previous chats, context. You have no memory for what I've done before. I want this chat to be a complete blank slate for if I just open Claude for the first time. All right, the reason I put that in is if I don't, then a bunch of stuff from my other chats and Claude's context is gonna pop up and it's really gonna taint the purpose of this video. So I'm gonna keep this here and then I'm gonna tell it a little bit about myself. So I'm David, I'm 19 years old. I just got out of high school. I have some decent experience being IT tech support for family members. You know, I've always kind of liked IT. I thought I was going to be a software engineer, ended up liking business a lot more, but I don't really feel like I have any specific IT skills. I've been working out for about 2 years seriously by now. I've seen some decent enough gains for me to continue, but it's not like I feel like I'm very seasoned on the topic. And it's not like I'm big and strong and muscly enough that I'm a walking testimonial as well. I work as a customer service agent for a company that sells magazines. And so I would say I'm quite decent at communicating and talking to people and solving issues. But again, I don't really feel like that necessarily translates into one specific skill. The reason I'm telling you all this about myself is I know I want to start a business and I know I need to select a niche, but I don't really know where to start. So this is my starting point. Now, I'm gonna take all that text I just gave it about me and I'm just gonna input it. So I'm just gonna let it run. I'm making this quick interruption to let you know that if you're watching all of this and you're thinking, yeah, AI is great, sure, but I would actually more prefer some one-on-one personalized help for free, then I got you. Go to the top pinned link in the comments or in the description, click it, fill out the few questions, apply, and you will get a free hour of help from me. You can have an idea, you can have nothing, you can have something you've tried. I will help you with where you're at and make a personalized plan that you can start working on immediately to get your first customers. Back to the video. David, thanks for laying it all out. Here, let's work with what we got. First, some honest framing. You're 19. You don't have deep expertise. No, that's very true. The mistake would be waiting until you feel ready, which is probably the situation that you're in. Don't wait till you feel ready. You get ready when you try and you start figuring things out. You have more than you think: IT support, customer service, fitness, consistency over 2 years. None of these alone screams business niche. That was very much also how I felt, but that's not how it works. Okay. Okay, well, that's good, I guess. You don't need to be the world's best at something. You need to be good enough to help someone who's a few steps ahead of behind you. Okay. Makes sense. Now, let me be direct about the fitness thing. You said yourself you're not a walking testimonial. That matters. In fitness, people buy with their eyes. Yeah, building your physique before monetizing. To be honest with you, that's pretty good advice. What actually point you is service businesses. Okay. Not selling your own expertise as a coach or consultant, but offering a skill as a service to businesses or individuals. The reason is simple, which is honestly half the battle in running. Okay. The question becomes what service? And chances are you've put yourself in that situation, or you at least find yourself in that situation. Do you want to work with businesses, B2B, or regular people? And then I have to look next to my setup. We have people, businesses, and don't know yet. I don't really know how to evaluate which of those options would be better for me. I mean, is there a major difference? And how do I know which one I'm more suited for? It's completely fair. If you don't know, let it know you don't know. How much time can you put into this per week alongside your magazine job? Back then, let's just say 5 to 10. What matters to you most right now? Building something I'm proud of. I would say at the point when I was 19, I knew I had to learn a skill. I still wasn't entirely sure what a skill was, but I knew I had to learn a skill. So I probably would have picked that. Oh, I see. I did it wrong in terms of prioritizing it. Okay, well, we'll see what it says. Good questions and good that you're asking. Then it gives me an explanation for what B2B is and B2C is. Here's my honest take. B2B is the better play, even though it sounds scarier. Okay, you said making money fast. I want to close this and then I want to correct it. So I want to say, I actually made a mistake of saying I wanted money fast and then building something I'm proud of and then learning valuable skills. I would actually say learning valuable skills first, then building something I'm proud of, then getting paid. So when you're going through something like this, don't just take whatever you're given and then run with it. Be critical. What does critical mean? Critical means, is what I'm presented with something that makes sense to me based on what I gave it? And you should immediately be able to tell, does this conflict or align with how I view myself? It might be something new, it might be something you've not thought of before, but you should be able to evaluate just a little bit if it seems completely insane. All right. With Money Fast, I was steering you toward whatever gets cash in the door. Then it says this is actually the smarter play at your age. Interesting. Even though it doesn't feel as exciting. That said, I still don't want you to treat this as learn for 2 years, then start. And I can tell you, as someone who did that I also don't recommend that. What skills are actually worth building at 19? Okay. Sales and persuasion, very good to get into. Writing that moves people to action, yes. Understanding how businesses actually make money and building systems that solve problems. Yeah, very true. Okay, I still had those 2 questions hanging though. Okay, so it said, which of these feels more natural to you? And then it says tech and digital stuff, or people and communication. To be honest with you, back then I would probably have picked digital stuff. I wouldn't today, but I'll go with it. How do you feel about getting client? Oh, I did not feel good about this. This held me back for a long time. A long time, I'm telling you. Can I move this? I can't. Okay. I don't think I would have picked any of these when I was 19, but I probably would have went with I'll do what I have to as the option here. I definitely wouldn't have picked cold outreach. That was the thing I was most afraid of, and posting content as well. All right. So you see how we went from the beginning where I said, help me start a business and help me figure something out. And it didn't just give me a bunch of suggestions and I didn't just take one and then run with it. No, I'm giving it context about me, asking it to dig, asking it to help me figure out what is even the next step in this equation rather than just saying, okay, list me a bunch of ideas. I'll take one and then I guess I'll figure it out. Maybe. So here you get a much more step-by-step walkthrough because you get to understand what is the purpose of each step and how, importantly, how does each of those steps relate to the situation that you're in, what you're good at, what you're not good at. There's no certain way to do this, but you're definitely better served by seeing when you don't know something, when you're asking clarifying questions, instead of just taking the first thing and and then trying that. Okay, so here it's recommending me a small business IT tech support service. And then it says, before you say that's just what I do for family already, hear me out. Free, unstructured, reactive, packaging that into a real service for local small businesses, shops, dental offices, law firms. These businesses have 5 to 50 employees, don't have an IT department, and consistently have tech problems they waste hours on. Very true. Never something I would have thought of when I was 19. Never. I would have never have thought of this. And you already have a foundation. And here's what I really want you to see with this video. You know stuff. You are good at something, but because you're good at it, you don't view it as something that others are willing to pay for. And that's the blind angle making you hold yourself back instead of taking the next step, okay? You might not think that you have this big thing that's going to make you a millionaire, or however much you want to make. But trust me, you have something that can at least get you started, something you can at least start learning from. And then in the process of learning, you will figure out more and more and more about what you're good at, and also more about what people want and what they're willing to pay for, which is the beautiful thing. Now, most people would probably take this, they would stop here and they would just go do that and try and build something off of that. And you could, but I still don't really have anything tangible that I could immediately start reaching out to potential businesses with. And so that's the step I'm at now that I want to, get into. Before I go any further, what are the strengths but also the weaknesses of this idea? What is something that I would have to be aware of before I start thinking about how I can package or present this? Let's see what it says. Okay, I mean, the upsides are very obvious. Weaknesses, a 19-year-old with family tech support experience is genuinely at a disadvantage here on paper, which is very true, but should that stop you? No, especially with all the tools you now have today. Like, this was almost 7 years ago. You need to, scope creep, yeah, definitely. Okay, credibility gap is not sexy. The biggest thing to be aware of, the gap between I can fix my aunt's Wi-Fi and I'm responsible for a business's entire tech stuff is bigger than it looks. Yeah, serious about leveling up your technical knowledge. Yeah, so essentially it's letting me, it's making me aware of some things that I would have to do along the way and some potential concerns, which is great. But what I love so much about this is you can and should make the AI argue against you. It's so easy when you're using AI to have it support you, have it help you progress, which is good. But it becomes about you and you become so focused on, oh, how good am I? What can I do? What's working for me? Instead of, what's the thing I'm not seeing here? What's something I should be focusing on which I've not seen yet? And is there anything I've missed entirely? Or is there something I have done which I'm doing the wrong way? So with the things it's mentioned, these things all make sense. And the funny thing is, back then, if I'd taken this idea and just started on it, I would have tried to make the perfect plan. And I would have planned and planned and planned for weeks and not done a single piece of action that would have actually helped me make progress. So that's not what we're going to do. Instead, I wanted to make me a simple plan that I can take action on and I can move forward with. Okay, so I have the idea of the niche at least. As I see it, this is not ready. Like, I don't see how I could take this and go to a business and it would be convincing. It doesn't seem specific enough. How can I make this niche so specific that if I went to someone and presented it, they could see that it would be exactly the kind of thing that they're missing? Let's see what it says. If you walked into a dentist office and said, I do IT support, they'd nod politely and forget about you by lunch. And that's exactly true. Like, you need to at least know what you're talking about. Axis 1, who specifically are you serving? Okay, small businesses is way too broad. Yeah, makes sense. What specific problem am I solving? Good stuff. Here's what I want you to think about. Once you pick one, okay, which type of local business do you think you could understand and talk to most naturally? Healthcare, dentists, physios, clinics, professional services, lawyers, accountants. Oh, and what is it? Real estate agencies? It would probably be professional services for me. Which of the problem areas interests you most to get good at? Setting up and managing their cloud tools. What do we also have? Keeping their systems secure and backed up, and some troubleshooting stuff. Probably some setup stuff and management stuff. That to me, that would probably seem like something that would be somewhat easy to learn about. But let me push you further. Okay, think about what these firms actually deal with day to day. That's not an IT problem in their mind. So instead of I manage your Google Workspace, the offer sounds more like I set up and organize your firm's entire cloud system so your team stops wasting time looking for files. New hires are ready to work on day one, and you know your client data is probably secured and backed up. I would have been pretty fired up if I got something like this when I was 19. Like, I'd never heard of statements like this before. I would have gone, holy smokes. See the difference? I do see the difference. Now here's what's genuinely good about this niche. Law firms and accounting firms are required. Okay, yeah, true. How well do you know Google Workspace? I'd have to learn it from scratch. Definitely. Which platform do you want to specialize in? I would say Microsoft, because that's probably the one I would think most people are using. Okay, good. Honest answer. And that's fine. Microsoft, but the gap is very closable. Happy to hear that. Weeks 1 through 3, learn the platform at admin level. Week 4, build your offer. Offer, I would think. What's an offer? And start your outreach. Okay, so now we're getting into some specifics, right? Now it's suddenly a lot more detail, like Google Workspace or 365 setup and management for small law firms and accounting practices, rather than just IT support. And it's, also then picking one of them. And it's also recognizing, okay, there's some stuff here I need to learn first. And now I'm being taught, okay, there's an offer here. I need to have an offer. And then I need to start outreaching. Okay, so for this video, not to drag out too long, I'll take the niche and I'll turn it into a specific statement. And then I want to get a super simple offer that as a newbie, I could go and get my first client with. Okay, I have an idea what the niche is now. If you could make it a lot more concise and summarize it in just a few lines so it would be easier for me to understand and talk to other people about, that would be great. Also, you mentioned this offer thing. I don't really know what an offer is, but can you help me put together like an explanation or like a kind of like a menu of what I would specifically be offering these businesses? If that's kind of what an offer is, I guess then that's the same thing. But I want to know what to say to them when I go to them and what would be the best way for me to approach them. I'm quite shy. I'm afraid of failure, and a rejection is really bad. And I know I have to get better at it, but I don't know what's kind of the best way to start. I'm not making this stuff up. Like the stuff you just heard, that's how I felt when I was 19, 20. I was terrified of asking someone and being rejected. And it's definitely still not fun, but you become a lot more desensitized to it. And you learn that it's never personal, and you only get better, and you learn more about what people want, what they don't want. So let's see what it puts together for me. Okay, your niche in plain language. I help small law firms and accounting practices get their 365. That's it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now an offer isn't just what you do, it's what the client gets. What it costs and why it's a no-brainer. Interesting. Think of it as the full picture of value you're putting on the table. Yes. And this is a great explanation if you've never heard it before. The setup project, the monthly service, beauty of this. Now the hard part, how to actually approach them. I'm not going to pretend the fear of rejection isn't real. It is, but let me reframe something for you. You're not going to get these firms begging for a favor. No, you're offering to solve a problem they already have. Most of them know their systems are a mess. They just haven't found someone to fix it. And so just as much as you don't think you have something people are willing to pay for, you don't know all the things that these businesses or other people are struggling with that you're not aware of. And it's because you don't have all that other information that you make up these views or ideas about yourself that holds you back. Warm outreach. Okay, now start with warm outreach. Find small law firms and accounting practices in your area. Go to the websites, find a managing partner, blah, blah, blah. Send them an email, short, specific email that shows you understand their world. Very important. Hi, name, I help small law firms get their properly organized and secured. Most firms I've talked to have messy shared drives, no real systems. If that sounds familiar, I'd be happy to do a free 20-minute audit of your current setup and show you exactly what I'd fix, no pressure. This, like, if I was 19, if I was 20 and I've been told this, and this was the way for me to move forward, I think I would have started a lot quicker. I would have had something specific. I would have known who to target. I would have known where to go to do that. And now I have something to say to them. And I even see that I'm offering something for free initially. That's awesome. And it's short and it's really understandable. Then why email works for me? You can craft it carefully. You don't get rejected to your face, and you can send 10 of them in an evening. Like, again, this is personalized to me and the concern I gave it before. Here's what I want you to take from this. The old version of me, who was 19, 20, sitting at his desk, who thought that he had no skill, no knowledge that he could sell, that anyone would ever pay for. He didn't need a better idea. He needed to stop waiting for the perfect one. The stuff that I showed you here today, none of that is perfect and not necessarily even finalized, but it's definitely actionable. And that's what you need right now if this is you. If this video made you feel like you can take action and get started, subscribe, and hopefully the weather will be better tomorrow. Also, let's YouTube know that you like this video and that you would like to see more from me. Helps me out a ton. It costs you nothing and it takes you literally 2 seconds. I'd massively appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments what specifically you'd like me to make a video on. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Until next time, stay disciplined.